Good morning and welcome to Delenn Russell. We are back playing some Minecraft this morning, and hopefully we will have a good day today. We're building the Beehive again, so we're getting ourselves onto that lovely spot. Let's just get our bed going this morning, because when you log on and it's like midnight, it doesn't help a whole lot. So as you can see, nothing much has changed. We're still wearing the lovely diamond armor and plaid, just because we are on Dadcraft's Patreon Java server. So last time we were here, we built this weird panel of the Beehive. This time, oops, give me a second. This time we, come on, I can't spell. Anyways, this time we're going to go ahead and continue with our Beehive. So, I'm just going to change it up a little bit though, because I didn't really like the color scheme that we had going here. So, going to try and swap it out a little bit and then continue on to the other walls on the outside. So as you can see in the front here, I was playing a little bit with the colors that I've got available. And I think I'm going to take this orange and slap it in here, which will allow me to free up for this dark yellow to come out. I really don't like the way that looks. Also, I'm not liking the super dark patch up top. I think I like it a little bit lighter like this one. So we'll just see if I can grab my picture real quick, and then we'll get a move on here. Put it right. There we go. Okay. And now we've got a picture to work with. Okay, so we can... Oops, and I can't cover my notifications or nobody's going to know what happens. All right. So we're back here looking at our colors. And yeah, so first off, I really don't like the way some of these turned out. I'm also wanting to take out the concrete because that was just ugly. But one of the problems with working with terracotta or concrete is that you've got very blunt in-your-face color schemes to work with. And sometimes they look good and sometimes they look kind of flat. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, is a lot of the places that we put the regular terracotta that you can see on the left here, I'm going to swap that out for the orange. I think that's just going to look a little bit lighter, look a little bit nicer. Now, do I have the light gray with me? Yeah, so that light gray is going to work out well. And then there's one other color piece. That's concrete. That's not what I want. So I won't be perfect on this one. I'll probably make a few more color tone changes off camera, but we should at least be able to see where we're going here. Now, is this regular gray or is this light gray? Oh, it's light gray. Okay. So I may also experiment a little bit with regular gray terracotta, actually, just so that... That's regular gray and it's light gray. Okay, perfect. Do I have any? There we go. Let's see if we can get ourselves some regular gray terracotta going, just so we can see how that color difference looks. Oops. No, where is... No, it's not that spelling. Okay. If I could spell correctly, that might help. Funny how gray terracotta turns out brown looking. And I'm gonna bet... Yep, I did. Okay, so I've got a bit more gray terracotta than I expected. Let's... This one, which must mean... Okay, I see what I did here. So I've got wrong pieces in a lot of places. Pull this out. And that one's black. We've got the black, and then we've got the gray. And then we've got light gray. So I'm just going to see if this one, when I pull it out, what color tone we worked with. What color did that become? Light gray? Okay, what happens if I put regular gray in here? It's really dark. It doesn't look like the Beehive if I go that dark, so I guess I have to stick with the light light gray, but I could probably use the dark gray instead of the black in a few places. Let's pull that out again and get it out of the road. The black terracotta definitely out of the road. Okay, so light gray in here. So I'm not liking the way this looks, a little bit too light all across part of it. But at least I can take the orange and start getting rid of some of these ones across the bottom that I'm not a fan of. And then we'll proceed on to part 2, because this shouldn't take all day, hopefully. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. With our youth going up to scout camp this weekend, this week might be a little bit busy, so I don't know what you're going to see. Okay, I don't know what you're going to see on Thursday. So hopefully we'll see how much progress we can make here, and Thursday will be a wander around stream. But if I'm a little bit busy in the middle, Thursday may be either more Beehive or working on some of that thing over there. Let's see what we can do. Two, 3, and 4. I don't expect it to be a super faithful recreation of a Beehive. I just like to have something that I think I'm going to like the way it looks. Okay, 1, 2. So I didn't make much of this orange stuff, or didn't bring much of it right off the bat, so we'll just grab some more out of the box if I've got it. Nope, wrong box. I'm so organized, I don't know which box I put it in. Nope. Aha. There we go. That should do for a minute. So, as some of you may have noticed, I'm debuting a little bit of a different overlay look this time. That's partially in celebration of the fact that technically I've made affiliate. I've been playing a lot with buttons and redemptions and stuff like that. But on the other hand, I'm not fully happy with it yet. So you guys are welcome to redeem anything you like. Just keep in mind that it may not remain permanent in that method or in that style. And I'll be switching it up and playing around with it a little bit over the next few days. Or next few streams, I mean. The other thing I may try experimenting with is a switch up a little bit on time slots and content. The regular slots will still stay in place, but you may see 1 or 2 out of band slots as I play with a couple of ideas I've got. So we'll see whether or not that happens. 1, 2, 3. And hopefully... Oh, no, I'm not going to get that one. That's okay. And I'm liking the way this looks so far. Yeah, I think the orange really works better. Then I can free up the normal terracotta for this slot here. Let's just change this one out. Where did I put that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one I can't reach, 5. Yep, definitely liking that look better. All right. Never enough tan. Let's see what color is that. Okay. Head over to the next section and swap it out. Swap it out. I don't know. Grammatically, I'm not awake this morning. All right. Yeah, so it's got to be orange all along this stripe. Where did I put scaffolding? Right. What am I doing? Oh, too high. That'll work. So, yeah, it's a bit of a quieter time slot. That's totally okay. A lot of people are in school and stuff like that. So even though we've managed to reach affiliate, we'll just keep playing because I enjoy it, and I enjoy Minecraft, so this is what I do, as you could say. Yeah. I will be here if you are here. And other than that, we will just keep on keeping on. So, as usual, we are hoping to have another Patreon server stream weekend at the end of the month. But in the meantime, if you're looking for some interesting entertainment, I highly recommend checking out Dadcraft's work on the Truly Bedrock server weekend that should be coming up. My guess is the middle of the month. I have not actually heard officially yet whether or not that will be the case. So do watch for that, because it's definitely worth catching. His work is amazing, which is part of why I'm here in the first place. Oh, and apparently it's nap time. Okay, let's go up and over the top. And down we go. Oh, well, thanks, Huge Stormy Owl. I did not expect to hear so soon. I guess I must have been head in the sand yesterday. So yeah, then it is going to be this coming weekend. Yeah, I guess now that I think about it, that makes perfect sense, because that is the middle of the month. So I will be out of town and unfortunately missing that one, and I'm really quite disappointed about missing it. But I recommend everybody take a look at the Truly Bedrock the Truly Bedrock streamers. They are amazing people and definitely worth catching their work anytime you possibly can. By the way, good morning, Huge Stormy Owl, and welcome aboard. When I saw that I had more than one viewer in here, that threw me a little bit, because I didn't expect anybody to actually say hello this morning. Tuesdays are not one of my biggest days. Actually, Wednesdays are even quieter, so it's a good thing to see other people. Feels good. Actually, that's part of why I was here in the first place. It was not necessarily to garner viewers per se, but to share with those that have nothing better to do while I'm while I'm playing anyways. I actually nearly asked you for specs on your on the Hive build that you did last season for I can't even talk this morning, for Bedrock, but decided that this year I'd give it a go on my own just to see how it turned out. And the first design I followed looked okay, but it wasn't quite what I wanted, so that's why I'm swapping out some of the pieces. I actually was debating whether or not I would tear it all down and start from scratch and try and build a Beehive proper instead. But I think I'm going to stick with just doing the bee's nest that we've got here. Even though I keep calling it a beehive, it's really a bee's nest. Okay, and this should be orange, I believe. Yeah. Oh, don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's now raining over yonder. I'm still amused by that, because this white square that we've got is all inside one chunk, and yet it's like raining halfway through. I find that amusing. Interesting. So I got half of one of my commands to pop up. I think that it had line breaks in it in the version I had originally worked with. And then when I moved it to a different service, the line breaks threw things a curve. So I'll have to edit that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that some strip wood logs probably would work in here. Just trying to see what I can do with the terracotta, because it's sort of my bloc de jour, I guess you could say. And I liked the natural wood look it gave, but also it gives me opportunities to build a full wood hive box elsewhere if I decide I need it later on. The part of the reason for building it is both needing a bee space, but also because I want to reference the beekeeper himself, Sherlock Holmes, as when he retired, he went into beekeeping in Sussex. So that was part of where this is coming from. Okay. Definitely going to want to swap out the white, I think, later on, because that's just a little bit too bright, but it's not harmful to the design at the moment, so I think we can leave it for now. Oops. And where am I? Silly me built this on the backside of... Oh, wrong one. Shoot. Silly me built this on the backside of the Beehive design I'd already built, and so now I'm having to look at everything in mirror flip, and it's throwing me a little bit. Okay, let's pull these out. Yeah, the wood log look I think might end up being where I go with it in the end, but I think at least it will get me moving. And besides, I could use the yellow terracotta elsewhere. That was supposed to be, oops. Oh well. Okay, so we've got, if I can count, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I think what happened was when bees came in, the pattern that I was originally following was a bit more of a texture change based on, I guess you could say, an older design. So I think the video I was looking at, I believe actually might have been using a snapshot. And so when the final one came out, there were some slightly different textures on it. So it didn't end up looking quite as nice as it could have. Okay. Or on the other side. Ooh. Let's put that. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Right. And you would have seen a message that somebody just joined the game, and that would be Mr. Dub Dynamite has signed in. So we will have another person on the server. It'll be a bit of a race to see who actually manages to sleep. I don't think that it really matters who does. So as long as I remember to make sure that I watch out for phantoms. Okay. And I missed a couple while I was over there. Can I reach them? Yes. So once this is done, I'll have to remember to populate said beehive, because it's going to need it, and that was something I had mistakenly done and let them all fly away. So we'll hopefully fairly soon be going on a walkabout, trying to find more bees. Now, where did I put my extra scaffolding? Gotta figure that one out. I know I brought some, at least I thought I did. No, not that box. There it is. Plenty. All right. It's funny how it feels really dark, but it's definitely not sleepy time. Yeah, certainly not. Okay. Go back and put up scaffolding on the correct side and see what piece I do next. Because I'm just about ready to build wall 2. What is that color? I think it's the brown. Yeah, it's gonna, I think. Gonna bet I've got brown in here as well. Okay. There's not much else to repair on this one. A couple of yellows. Let's quickly get rid of those. Because I really want to get onto wall 2. Repeating is not high on my list. Okay, what did I do here? Oh, right, because these are supposed to be orange. Orange, orange. And those two. There we go. And then, what's that? I think that's the right one. Yeah, that'd be the concrete. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. That was not the concrete. That was supposed to be. Not that, although it's cool. Definitely disliking that. Goodbye. Much nicer muted tone. I think I might have to switch out the ones on the top. Alrighty. Let's see. Where are we here? 4. Got those ones. This one. Okay. Let's go up and over. It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, actually. Okay, so we've got this one and that one. I think I like the one on the left. I think I like the one on the left. It's as light as the one on the right, but it's not super bright. Hard to say, though. Well, one thing's for sure. Now I can sleep. Ooh. Oh, no. Unfortunately, which you can't see there, and I'll have to start moving things on my screen, is Dub Dynamite drowned. So I'm very sorry to hear that. That's not much fun. Maybe that yellow does look better as wool. Yeah, it does look better as wool. Okay. Back we go. Do I have a shovel? Yes. This one's all wrong. Oops. Shovel. Wool. There we go. Okay. And then I didn't like the dark strips. What was I going to do with that? That was changing out the corner. That one there. Change out this one. It confuses me when I want to go and pull out some of the colors, and then it turns out that some of the other colors are exactly what I was going to move it to in a neighboring slot, so I have to make sure I do them in the right order, otherwise I get really lost. 3, 4. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It'll... Let's see. Oh, that's the arch. Okay. So that's got to be orange here. And then those two. And this one. The yellow between. Yeah, it's a bit more. It's a bit brighter, but hey, it'll do. Okay, and then this one. Maybe the regular. So, one of the things I said I was going to try and do more often was try and look up some good news stories. Splat. So one of the pieces I found today for a good news story actually involved one of those cute ones that you often like to hear about, a kid who lost his stuffy and then it was returned to him. So I thought that was kind of fun that the kid had lost his teddy bear, affectionately called Surprise Teddy, at an airport where he had managed to toss the teddy bear up in the air high enough that unfortunately it got stuck in the airport's rafters. And I guess it was like on some sort of holiday weekend that you wonderful Americans have down there. But unfortunately, of course, because it was so high and they were just about to board their plane, his parents did not get a chance to ask anybody for help and let them know that it was up there. So they were quite surprised. And then I think they said about 2 months later, the mother was quite surprised when she saw that on her Facebook page. Why is that different? I made a mistake in the first place. But anyway, she found on her Facebook page that, surprise, surprise, there was a picture of her son's teddy bear. And so she contacted the airport because they were trying to figure out whose it was to be able to send it home. And the airport very kindly arranged with an airline to fly the kid and his father out to claim the teddy bear in person. So that was really a little fun story. I like that one because I always like it when kids can get their toys back, because when we're kids, our toys are our friends. And so to lose a friend, even if you did something silly when you were playing with them, it's still not a whole barrel of fun. Okay, so let's jump down, or at least head down. Nope, jump works. And take a quick look and see whether or not I like this one. And if I do, we can move on to the next wall. All right. Let's see. Well, did I miss any spots? I did miss one. But other than that... Oh, and there's supposed to be a wool in one other spot. Okay. Looks like there was some very notable artistic license taken with the design I used originally. There's different spots where colors or pixels have been changed completely. Okay, one more yellow to get rid of, and then we can move on. Now, the intent to go inside the building is actually going to be one of the self-harvesting camps. Self-harvesting, what do you call them? Bee farm designs that have been floating around, where the aim is mostly to get, like, you can get either bottles, or you can get honey bottles, or you can get the honeycomb. And that part is going to be quite essential to finish off the yellow stuff, even though there's a long ways to go with the yellow terracotta before we get there. I don't need this corner. However, I don't mind actually going on the hunt for the bees, because something to do, and gets me out of the base for a change. I was quite happy about the mob farm you cannot see in the distance, partly because you cannot see it, so I like that. Otherwise, it would badly need decoration. But as it is, with it staying out of view, then I can actually do a lot more around the base that doesn't require me to have to worry about that other piece. Now, I may eventually move the sheep farm. I think it's too close to the statue thing. It's a lot easier to move the sheep farm, as strange as that sounds. It's a lot easier to move that than it is to move the statue, because, yeah, the statue thing is, it's big. It's very, very big. Okay, so what have we got going on here? I think I'm done this wall, so let's not jump this time. Take one last look to make sure I'm happy with it from the other side, and then we will dig out the second picture. All right, close enough? Close enough. Yeah, I could pick at it all day long, and it's not going to make any major differences. The oranges. There's a bit of lightning I could do in the center, but that's fine. Oh, right. I wanted... Okay. Brown. Just before I take out the scaffolding, there's one spot I wanted to fix out on this side. I believe I've got black concrete up in here, hiding right behind the scaffolding, and I don't like that. I wonder if I can, how much I can squat. Nope. Because if I try and clip that off, I'm going to fall. So let's just go down a couple. 1, 2. Build ourselves a new row. Of course I would do that. Oh well. And one more ought to do it. Yep. Just looks so dark. Okay, what is this? Is this what I... No, it's not what I wanted. Where did I put it? Let's go with the black for now. Just to avoid wasting time. So the black concrete at least has a lighter tone and a bit more of a brown to it than the... Sorry, not the black. The black terracotta has a lighter tone than the black concrete, so we can start with that. All right. I'm just taking a quick look. Is there anything I don't want? I'm going to put away the terracotta and just grab something else. Let's skip. Yellow. Did I put that in a different box? No, I did not. Yes. All right. I'm not going to use that on the other wall. That way I want to make sure it's not in my possession. Concrete. Hope not to use. I don't remember. Okay, I don't need that. And put the dye away for now. Don't want the concrete powder, so I'll just leave that behind. Dirt can stay out of the way. Okay, let's just see what other colors we've got that I forgot to pick up. Brown, more brown. Gray, black, terracotta. Let's put it on the side. I'm going to need plenty of that, but I think I've got some to start. One more stack of orange ought to do it. I may need the white. I don't like it, but I may need it. What's this? Light gray. More boxes. More orange. Wow. I have just a little bit of stuff. Okay. Oops. Sleep. And do a picture swap, and we should be good. Oh, for... Right. Haha. I jumped for a second there thinking, oh yay, I've got a zombie, but then it didn't tell me that monsters were nearby, and that's... So it means then the zombie sound is obviously my iron farm. I was just hearing that one turned up a little bit. Swapping pictures. Pardon me. So in terms of some of the new pieces that I've got hiding, set up for the fact that I've now become affiliate. Where is it? Beehive. Right, there we go. Okay, so, in terms of that, I'm playing around with trying a new bot as well. So I'm playing around with StreamerBot. I have not used that one before. It looks like it has a lot of flexibility, but I need to be able to figure out exactly how to trigger what I want to do in the element. And as you have already seen, it does not like line breaks. So it doesn't want to tell me about other streamers on the Java server at the moment. Let's see, where are we here? Ooh. And I hit the wrong one. I can't find it today. What have I done? Okay. Actions. So the way that this new one works, you can do just about anything you want to it. And even for those that are programmers, you can do like a C# program in it to get it to do what you want. But in any case, where I was going with that was to note that... Here we go. Oops. Too many. But because it does that sort of thing, it's so powerful, it's easy to make mistakes. So we'll just have to see how many mistakes it makes over this stream. That's part of why I'm running it as a bit of a test, and we'll just see where we go with it. But it makes it kind of interesting because you can do things like kill switch on all of your channel point rewards if you wanted to, or add far more, say, sound alert options than, for example, the sound alert or the blurp plugin let you do. So we've got more opportunities, I guess, to be able to do different things. So I'm going to let that run while we do our second wall here. And I'm just trying to refresh my memory on which blocks were which at the bottom. Okay, so let's just pull them all out and then put them back so that I know which is which, because I don't want to get influenced too heavily by the front wall, particularly if I'm going to be changing things out. Okay, so we've got... Don't want the black, it's too dark. Gray might work, so let's put down a gray one. And then go with a brown one beside it. Okay, and then let's look at a light gray one beside that. Because I've got one color that I can't remember what I was using it for, or using for that color zone. Probably the light gray, I think. Oh, wait. Okay, and then we've got some white. Just put up the other two. It'll do a severe change to the orange and the regular. And the white, because it's kind of got a gray tone to it. And we'll throw the yellow in there, just so I have my entire, well, current palette put out there, and then we'll see what's what. I don't have a what you were looking at add-on, although given this type of build, that's probably something I'll put in before Thursday, just so that it can help me figure out where we are a little bit easier. Let's see, so the dark stripes could probably be the dark gray, actually, rather than the brown, because then it frees me up to use the brown elsewhere. So I'm going to try that this time around, and I may change my mind as we go along here. But there are some different things that I've seen different streamers doing that I probably will be asking for tips and tricks on how they chose to do it. What did I use? Huh. I can't remember what I used for that tone. Okay. I've got sort of like a light tan gray tone that I can't remember which one I had actually chosen as that color, because I know I wanted the gray as the accents. Okay, well, when all else fails, let's just pick something. Yeah, I'll just go with the gray across the way, and then we'll just see which ones I want to poke out and fix and change later. It's interesting. I watch people who do randomized palettes for things, and it's sort of a random as you feel, and I quite like that design. No, I don't have gray with me. Okay. So yeah, it seems to be rather random as you feel, and I quite like it when people can do that sort of thing. I've never felt comfortable doing it. I always tend to find patterns and groupings that I did not originally intend, and then it starts to eat at me that I've done that. So it takes some getting used to, I guess I could say, or me to continue doing things like that comfortably. That doesn't make any sense when I say it. Yeah, I guess. But to randomize is not one of my strengths. Oh, fiddle. And even artificial randomization still seems odd to me sometimes. So And what I mean by artificial is in getting an add-on to help me do the randomizing. But if it works for other people, you know, great, more power to them. I just would find a whole ton of patterns and keep never being satisfied. And as you can tell, that's not exactly uncommon. I'm hard to satisfy. I guess it's probably a better way of putting it. So texturing buildings and stuff is actually, excuse me, something that I need to work on a lot. Okay, I'm going to have 2 on the end, so let's go 1, 2, oops, not that one. There we go. I mean, this doesn't have to be perfect and muted, because it's a lot easier to do muted tones when you've got the entire world to work with. Okay. Let's see. Looking for another dark brown stripe now. Not brown. Whatever the ultra dark color was. Yes, not that. Brown, brown, black. The black? Let's see, I've got 2 in there. Gray, okay. Which is one that I did not make extras of. Fine, brown it is then. That's okay. Good morning, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Thank you for jumping aboard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pardon me. Got a bit of a frog in my throat, so you'll have to excuse me for that this morning. Okay, let's go with some more brown. Let's see what else have I got for good news today. Good news, good news, good news. All right. So apparently, one of the things that people are I guess you'd say, seems to be a hot topic these days is the environment. And I'm kind of glad, because I would like to see our planet in, you know, in good survivable shape for the duration of at least my kids' lifetime. And my grandkids' lifetime would be nice, you know. But it would be, it's one of those things that people are arguing a lot about in terms of what can we do. And I've thought it was kind of a nice feel-good this morning to find an article that talks about how city trees, when you build a city park and plant trees, or even preserving and taking care of what's known as forest edges around urban areas, is a good thing, because it turns out that more of the carbon dioxide in the air is actually absorbed by the trees than previous studies had thought they were. And so, of course, trees, when they breathe in and breathe out, so to speak, 2, 3, 4, then they're actually pulling in more of that carbon and nasties than scientists thought they were, which is good to hear. Anytime that we can last a little longer, breathe a little longer, I'm all for it. Okay. Oops, one. The map or the pattern I'm looking at this time does not actually have grid on it, so I maybe miss 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I know what I did. I'm misinterpreting by 1 block often, and that just throws the pattern when I get to a spot where I can count. So, yeah. Bit of a boo-boo sometimes, but that's okay. And it looks like I'm oversleeping, or not oversleeping, overstaying my lack of sleep period. But at the moment, we don't have any visitors, so let's just keep on keeping on. Because really, the only one that super bothers me from up here is spiders. And we all know that that's an ongoing challenge for me, so we'll just let that one be. Where am I here? Orange. Okay. It's 1, 2. I think I got it this time. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3, 4. Can't count. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So it's nice to know that, parks and things are worth investing in. And if you guys get the chance to go out and enjoy the weather and it's not horrible frozen below temperatures that make you want to stay inside for forever and a day, then I highly recommend getting out, enjoying your local parks. We're actually quite spoiled in our city that we have one of our provincial parks, equivalent to American state parks, really, though worse funded. But we do have our provincial parks available to us, and that is a spoiling factor, I guess, because we get to use them. We have one inside our city, which is not a city park. And I find it really nice because the city parks are not forested parks on the whole. I mean, we have some that are fields and some that are, what do they call it? It's like a natural park. So it's prairie fields. And that's definitely what you get around here in terms of, what's the word? I can never remember. Anyways, there we go. But we have prairie fields and they just don't forest them. The city doesn't, like, they plant decorative trees and we've got birches and alders and a bunch of that stuff around here. But we don't get large quantities of evergreens and that sort of thing planted by the city. We do have some, I guess you could say some more dense areas, but they're all planted with deciduous trees, which is very much not common in this area. There we go. So there's arguments all over the place on native grasses, non-native grasses, and that sort of thing. But there are plenty of people that don't have a problem. 1, 2, 3. With having these other trees out here. I mean, you'll see weeping willows, you'll see oaks, you'll see all kinds of stuff. And, but then by having the provincial park, we get all those things. Like, for example, we've got deer that live in our local provincial park. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, there we go. And that was supposed to be orange. Wrong color. Yeah, so last time I was out in our local provincial park, we actually got to see a whole bunch of deer. 3, 4, 5, 6. And that was quite the treat because they sort of carried you with them. They looked up and watched you. But that was as far as it went. It wasn't like they were going to run off, but nor were they bored and completely ignoring humans. What did I miscount again? Yeah, I miscounted again. But that's okay. So yeah, the deer out there are quite interesting to watch. And we've got beavers that build actually a pretty good sized dam out there. They call it our Fish Creek Provincial Park. So Alberta's got a weird little system where off and on they keep suggesting that they're going to charge lots of money and people are going to have to pay fees for the provincial parks. And a lot of provinces do that. It's a great way for them to get the funding to be able... Oh, wrong one. To get the funding to be able to upkeep these parks. Oh my. I don't know. Okay. 1, 2. Something went wrong in here, but I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, yeah, I did do it wrong. Okay. In any case, so they need those funds to upkeep the parks. One would think, like it seems kind of in one way counterintuitive that a park like that would ever need upkeep, but of course somebody's got to empty the trash from the trash cans, even when users are using the trash cans correctly. Somebody's got to keep the paths swept so that like winter, so that the park can be used by all kinds of users. So those are the sorts of upkeep things that need to be done. I mean, somebody needs to clean the washrooms and that sort of thing. Having worked for a provincial park at a campground in the past, I can totally see where that money tends to go, because the campground fees paid for a lot, but we knew very carefully when I worked there exactly where our boundaries were and where it was supposed to take over with provincial funds. Frequently, because the staff cared about the area, then we just didn't fuss about having to add a little extra in terms of effort. Okay, did I miscount? Should be one more. Nope. I did not miscount. Okay. It's funny because either I grabbed the wrong picture or I somehow had a mismatch on the picture. Like, it's just odd. In any case, where was I? 1, 2. Dip. Oh, I need white now. So I'm really hoping that we don't go to a stronger fee structure. On the other hand, I do worry a little bit about the quality of the upkeep of some of these parks. Last year, the excuse was the pandemic. I think it was people being cheap on the funding, personally. But the provincial parks, a bunch of them got slated to close, and the government has talked about wanting to sell off some of them or create what they call public-private partnerships, which is fine when the partnership actually happens as a partnership. But we're not seeing a whole lot of that. Ow. Ooh. I think I like it better with the brown instead of the dark gray. And then just put the brown concrete in there for the lighter zones. That actually looks nice. Anyway, where was I? 1, 2, 3. Need more. Let's see, do I have concrete? Got the concrete. Need more brown terracotta. Okay. So one of my goals for this summer is to be able to get out more to some of the provincial parks and walk a trail or two in those parks. I'll do brown. Because we don't often get a chance to get out. I mean, I will say that pandemic aside, our family, often led by me, should have been doing more outdoor activities. But that's not just for health and wellness and stuff like that, but that we have a great many things that we can do in our city. I mean, we have a lovely, what's the word? A lovely heritage type park, so historical village sort of place. And my kids keep saying, hey, we want to go back there. And we don't. We should, but we don't. Another place that keeps saying we want to go is we've got a science center and they want to go there. And we just go, yep, we'll go there. And then don't. It's just something that I need to get better at. Because I like being spontaneous to a point, but I cave really easily if something happens, like my kids are in the middle of playing some sort of imagination game and they're enjoying themselves, and I don't want to interrupt that. But maybe I need to more often, let them know that during the summer months there's a standing suggestion that we're going to go and do something more often. I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm thinking of. But even so, Fantastic Sherlock Fox has suggested that we book things in advance and throw them on the calendar, so that way we know we have plans to do something on the weekend. It also means that we're not getting up that morning. 2, 3, 4. Getting up that morning with no plan in mind, which tends to get me to easily sleep in till noon. I am bad for sleeping until noon. So that means that we never get started, and a lot of these things are out of town. One, 2, 3, 4. Sherlock Holmes, Fantastic Sherlock Fox got your first bonus points. Bonus points. Huh. I obviously missed something here. So I'll have to check in to see. I think it's good. I'm very, very pleased that you got those. I like to know the whys when things like that happen. And so I will definitely be looking into that. I think it's treating it as a subscription, which is good. Or it could be actually the first just stream points for watching, which is possible as well. In our household, one of the things that we haven't really sorted out yet, and probably will want to relatively soon, is just try to figure out where we're going to put all our subscription funding, because we've been balancing it out in a way that it hasn't really mattered, but it seems a little weird to me, and kind of counterintuitive for me to have my spouse subscribe to my channel. It seems really odd. Necessary, I suspect, but I don't really know if I want that or not, so I may try and see if this new little bot I've got will allow me to fake it out and artificially give Fantastic Sherlock Fox sub-type powers, just because, he's the only one I would do that to, but it's just because I think it's kind of weird to be outlaying money to a channel to get bonus points that really brings you in money. And being in Canada, I'll be frank, we get screwed on the the returns for anything that creators get compared to subs and cheers and so on, or bits. We don't get much of that at all, because first off, I have not yet got myself an American tax number. So because of that, if you're not an American, they hold back 30% of any money made, and you need an American tax number to try and claim that back. Second is there's exchange rates, because we're international, so there's the exchange rates on the funds themselves. And then, winning awards for smart here today. There's exchange rates on that, and then there's also a different cost in a lot of cases for the fees on getting anything back from a payout when it's actually time. So the way I look at it is basically, even if I was a super successful Twitch person, which I'm not going to be, so no illusions there, but even without being that, or pardon me, let me see the other way around. Even if I was a super successful Twitch individual, I'm not going to make much of it at all. Internationals generally don't. So I really appreciate when people choose to sub to international channels. But frankly, the conversion on it is so painful. And this is just Canada. I can't imagine what some of our friends in other countries like Australia or South Africa would be making if they got any payout at all. So, yeah, it's not something that I'm going to be talking about on stream again, as far as I can tell. I might, if I get, as DC would say, all riled up about it. But it's just, there's almost no point, so that's part of why I do this for fun. The affiliate goal was not for financial reasons. The affiliate goal was to be able to get you guys, channel points for fun redeems and rewards and whatnot, without having to rely on a third-party program like the Stream Elements program. They do a good job, but because Twitch has their own program, then third-party ones are a little more hidden in terms of how you find things, how you redeem things, and they're a bit more complex to make that happen. All right, where did we leave off? Yellow. So really, it's just to make the whole... I wanted Affiliate to be able to make the whole thing more fun for me. There are more choices of what I can do, and more choices of how to display schedules, and how to... lots of toys and things are predicated on having gotten the permission, I guess, to add bits. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah. So once one has the permission to add bits or subs or whatever, then it's a whole different ballgame, I suppose. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to see afterwards what this looks like, because if I've got the correct photo open, then I should not be having to readjust the front wall quite so often. But it just surprises me. Okay. Wool, we're good there. Concrete. Oh, what am I doing? Can't do the top row, because if I do, then I won't get back down. Actually, I can. Whatever. Whatever. One of the other things I want to look at as part of my change here, I guess, to a new setup, is to play around a little bit more with the timers, because when not much is going on, even if I insist on having... Oops, the ones I usually say points to. So I apologize for missing your message, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. The difference is when, unless you're saying, like, yours probably doesn't say a 1.2 times multiplier if you go to look at the redeem screen, because you're not actually subscribed. But yet, because you're subscribed somewhere, I'm seeing your Prime logo in addition to the moderator logo, and that's what confused me briefly. Okay, what have we got? So I just ran out of wool. We're going to jump again and go find ourselves some more wool at the wool farm and dye it up. No, hush. You're noisy. I never did bother giving that guy a name tag because he's covered over and is holding a block, so I didn't worry too much about that one. Let's see, sheep random. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so I mean, that's really all it is for me to be able to play with points and open up options of things I can do that you aren't allowed to do unless you've got the ability to turn on points. So yeah, it's just more of experimenting and letting me play with the toys. I like the toys. There we go. Okay. As Fantastic Sherlock Fox can definitely vouch, I am a tweaker to technical systems. I love to play with them in ways that make minor changes, and I don't often pay attention to whether or not I should at that... Oops. Whether or not I should at that point. So that's not smart. In terms of making a grand change to something right before I start stream and hoping it's going to work. Although part of the challenge is the timer ones don't offer you a test button to fake it out. So I really would have had to just play around with lots of garble. And I could do that. It's just, yeah, just because you can, etc., etc. Okay. Concrete on This one and that one. And then all the way down to here. And 1 and 2. We're just about done this wall in a way that I'm actually happy with. Wow, isn't that a surprise? All right. So before I build the third wall, since I've got a little bit of time, I think we're just going to take a brief break. And rather than jump straight on into that third wall, I like being able to back off and look at the wall. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a brief break and knock down, well, eat a little food, and then knock down this other structure here. Because I keep saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. And then we'll see where we go from there. Food. Food. Follow through on what you said. Alrighty. Let's take this monster down. So this structure had been based off of a video by the gentleman named Gobspit online. He, I believe, is an Australian, and did a really nice video on very, very basic mob farm, which can be used on a lot of different platforms. However, one of the things that I don't believe he actually mentioned in his video is that when he built it, two things were important that I should have paid attention to. But one was that he chose to use, for the purposes of doing his tutorial, he chose to use no day-night cycle, which means mobs would not spawn out here because it's permanently too bright. So it works better inside. The second thing that I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to, of course, related to mob spawning, was twofold. First off, that he claimed his video could be used on both Java or Bedrock equally. However, the mob spawning radius is different between the two. And so the area you have to basically mob proof, day or night, etc., is a lot larger, and that includes vertical. So I believe it's roughly 44 blocks. And depending on where you read, some spots say you have to go that far vertically as well. Other ones say you don't need to bother. But considering that it feels like my base is full of Swiss cheese, this thing was never going to work. I think I've got 1, maybe 2 mobs out of the whole thing. And that was on this side. The other side, I've had 1 spider. And so people were right that it was kind of a waste. But it was a good learning experience because one of the other places that a little mini mob farm of this style would work, or could work, would be something like Skyblock. Or if you wanted to build a small island in the sky, then that way you're reducing your heights that you're dealing with, and you don't have to worry about mobs spawning places you don't want. So, I mean, it is another design that I could have used as an in-person style mob farm. I've seen something very similar done by Spitfire, I believe it was, when she was playing a Skyblock related mod pack. I don't believe that it was actual Skyblock or Sky Factory or anything like that. I can't remember precisely what it was she was using, but it was definitely something different, and so was not. I can't remember what I was going to say, but was not that set. So this sort of mob farm shape did work for her, whereas it was not going to work for me. But that's okay, like, you practice, you learn, and you have very kind friends on these servers through Dadcraft's community that were willing to help me out and point out that I was being really quite silly. And that was a good feeling. Not that I was being silly, but that people were willing to tell me, yeah, I see the concept, I see what you're going for, but you need to be aware that where you're doing it is just not going to work. And that was a good thing, because I wasn't expecting much. Like, I mean, I really wanted an incredibly slow mob farm. What I've got is far more active than I originally planned. Far more active than I originally planned on getting, but it does what I need, and that's the key. It's not as fully optimized as it could be either, nor is it visually as appealing as I was hoping. A couple of creepers ensured that. But I've also had a few times where, by sheer luck, a creeper spotted me as I was going up or down some scaffolding on the side, and the result of that was that they were very helpful in blowing things up. The mob farm up top that I built has basically just about everything die by default. There's the odd one that I think almost all the ones that survive tend to come down with enchanted armor, or they are witches, so they've come down and they've just drank their health potions and such. And good. Sorry. So they've drank their health potions, but then that just means that those zombies, skeletons, and witches build up at the bottom. Or sometimes it's spiders who've managed to catch a foothold on the way down. Most of them haven't, but yeah. So every once in a while, when it gets super crowded, a creeper will survive coming down, and then it'll see me as I'm going up or down the scaffolding. And I can get out of range where it's not going to blow up a lot, but it will sometimes take out a wall, or doesn't blow up a whole lot beside it, because I've used the trick where creepers standing on half slabs generally don't blow up anything except the half slab itself, which appears at this point in time to also happen on carpet, but I could be misremembering, and I may have actually put the carpet in after the last explosion went through, so I'll have to check on that. But yeah, it does seem to help, because I'm kind of tired of fixing the walls up there. When I ran out of glass and couldn't fix things with glass and just had to use stone, I just said, yeah, let's call it. I can see what I want to see where I need to see it, so we'll just leave it because it functions. Though my son made an interesting point, actually. I had swapped out the top edge of the stairs, and I think I mentioned this the other day, but I had swapped out the top edge of the stairs on my mob farm's drop chute for straight blocks, just because I was originally was trying to see if I could get more of the mobs to go right over and less resistance for them to stay up top. I don't think it's made much of a difference to go back to full blocks. So what I think I might do is potentially go back to stairs. The perk my son mentioned was if I got zombies that managed to stay up there, even briefly before they get knocked down by something else coming their way. Like, I've noticed the spiders will sweep down the other narrower mobs. In any case, if I do that, there's a slim chance that a mob may turn itself into a zombie. Not zombie, sorry, into a drowned, in which case, once in a blue moon, I might get a chunk of gold out of it or something, or a nautilus shell or whatever else they want to carry. I really don't know if I care enough to make that change. It's not going to be worth it, and it actually would, and if mobs don't convert like that, just sheer luck by when they get knocked off, then I'm not really sure it's worth anybody's time to go and put that change in, because it'll actually just slow down the whole farm anyway. But it's one of those ideas I've been toying with, and it's also one of those items you do later. You know, there's a lot of do later in my world. I have too much stuff. That's okay. Let's put those up here and just get rid of some of this junk. And that eyesore is almost gone. No, I need that. Oh, 1 cobblestone. Yeah, that's going to cause a problem. Of course, I can't pick up stuff when I have a whole ton of cobblestone in there. Picking up 1 slot. Yay. All right, sarcasm intended. Let's go clean up this mess. Don't know what to do with this hole that I created, but I'm not too worried about it. I just wanted these buildings out of the road while I built the next layer of the farm. And zombie, you're not going to jump scare me there, because I know that this farm in the brick does not hold zombies. So even if something was here that would want to come and get me, it'd be a spider, not a zombie. All right. I will note, for those of you that play Bedrock, I've seen in one of the more recent, I think it was 1.18.2 preview items or preview versions that they're putting in. If they haven't put it live already, maybe I'm just a fool. But they're putting in an adjustment to the way that netherite armor actually mitigates damage, making it a little bit more effective. And I like that change because it wasn't doing anything more than armor, at least not in my than diamond, at least not in my experience. So although I did last season go and get the netherite, I really didn't figure out that it was worth the time I spent doing it because it didn't make enough of a difference for me on the armor side. Definitely did on the tool side, but not on the armor side. And so I'm glad to see that it seems that the Mojang crew have, I guess, adjusted that element so that hopefully it won't be like that any longer. And that it's actually worth it to go and get the lovely little cinnamon rolls and smelt them up. Sometimes I really do wish I knew what the official inspiration was for some of these shapes and designs, because I do wonder from time to time whether or not Mojang actually did use cinnamon rolls as a visual inspiration for that particular block. It's kind of curious. All right. Just about done, and being really random in which walls I'm choosing to take down as I go. Doesn't help in terms of storage in my inventory. So I'm torn between two different designs to work on after I get these done. So I mean, I'm thinking way ahead here and just more shooting the breeze out loud, or spitballing out loud, I should say. But I'm looking after I finish the bee farm, and I may not do that on camera. We'll see. I'm torn now whether I should work on something bizarre in shape, a little bit more like a large rotary telephone, or whether I would look at building a sphinx. One would be a lot of concrete gathering and dyeing. And as you can see, I've not got a concrete route built yet. And the other option would be lots and lots of sand and sandstone being gathered, with the idea of building a sphinx, somewhat like you would see in Egypt. And the telephone would be referencing the somewhat famous Dial M for Murder, and the Sphinx would be referencing Agatha Christie's Poirot novel, Death on the Nile. So, just torn on which one to do there, because both of them are going to take some time, and both of them are going to be tall, and both of them are going to be relatively monotone. Because, I don't know about you, but when you see a movie, whether it be color or black and white, their phones are usually black. They're either black or like a cream color. And honestly, I think we've done enough cream with the roof of the library, at least for now. But yeah, that's a couple of things coming down the road, down the pipe. Hopefully, I will be able to curb my enthusiasm and keep further ideas beyond that in check until I can actually complete something, because at the moment there's a lot of half-baked ideas and half-baked, half-built projects, so I want to just finish something. The other thing is, once I complete a project, so for example with the Beehive, the book is kind of obvious in that it's a book, right? And so if my theme is books, then having a giant book kind of makes sense. But these other builds, like the reason for the Beehive aside from containing bees, those parts will probably need me to put in a sign if there's any sort of explanation to be had. It's not something that I think needs a whole lectern with book or anything like that, but definitely will need a bit more of a sign just for my own sanity as to why it was put up, and then I can pretend it's museuming. Yeah, lots of pretending involved. Oh, is that a... I can probably... Where's this one? Take this piece out. Let's put the... See how many blocks I can get in there. Pull those out. I'll pull those slabs out. Can I get anything else in here? Nope, not that one. This one. Nope, there was this one. Get one block up in there. Well, let's see what I want to do. That's got a bunch of junk. That's almost full. This one I can put some more junk in. Do I have... Oh, it's full too. Okay. Oops, let's put the slabs over here. One random sign. Okay, so we just have the roof left to pull down and some pickup to do, and we should be good. They don't really want to create a problem. At least, as I said, in terms of finishing something I started, at least pulling down the roof or pulling down these farms is finishing something I started. The saying I did it. Someone told me once, baby steps, right? Even in Minecraft. So if we end up with 6 months of this server, or I don't know, it could be, we're already at 3 months. If we only end up with like another 3 months and I don't manage to get very far in this theme, nothing's to say that I couldn't start again with other elements of it next season. Or change to a completely different theme. I had a Disney type theme as another option, but then once again it was large 3D statues of stuff. And I think I'm learning from the pajamas that I may not want to go that route, because I would be fussy about how it looks. I mean, there's a lot more reference material, but yeah. Not necessarily the world's best plan, so we'll have to see. I mean, I could just completely go with a functional base and wander around next month. That's a possibility too. Next month, next season. But looking ahead, because there's just so many ideas, so many things. And besides, who knows, maybe I'll play Minecraft next season, maybe I won't. Probably will, though, because Minecraft, I keep coming back to it. You know, keep doing the same. I shouldn't say the same thing, but I keep enjoying it and coming back to the game. I mean, maybe next season would be, I'd take a turn on the modded server or something for a change. I don't know. A lot of it depends on what's available at the time. A little bit of what other people are up to. A little bit about, you know, the community I choose to play with that season. It may switch up, it may not. I mean, for convenience sake, there are times that I've actually thought about abandoning this base and moving over to the Bedrock server, but I'm really not keen on starting over again. And the whole theme, I'd still want to do the same theme, so I would be basically building all of this stuff again, and I really don't think that, well, I don't want to see it, and I'm fairly certain that any viewers don't want to see it. You know, chat can tell me whether or not that's the case, but I highly doubt it. The major convenience would be just a different set of neighbors, and the other major convenience would be that when we do stream weekends, it would be a lot easier to do handovers. We wouldn't necessarily have to be faking the fact that we're not in the same place. Because one of the things we didn't do, and I don't see why we should, is I've seen some groups that I actually went hunting for other groups that may have done something similar to having, like, sort of like DC's crew has done, where we've got the two different kinds of servers. And the two that I found like that, one had opted to do like we did and just, they have a set place they meet every time they hand off. But the other one I found actually bothered to clone a location. So they actually used structure, I believe it was, and copied a structure from one server over to the other, so that it kind of looked like you were talking to the other person, like the person you were handing off to, in the same space, but that wasn't really the case because, I mean, a lot of the angles were not showing, you know, the other player. Like when you do F5, you can almost pretend you've got the other player's camera looking at you, but it just was, when I watched the VOD back, it really felt all kinds of awkward. So I think our level of awkward handoffs as it is just needing some more practice to get finesse, and that's all it means is do it, right? And I mean, the more streamers in general that we have, the merrier, because then the differences when one flip-flops from one server to another become, like, those differences become far less pronounced. Okay, let's put the carrots up and just throw down a couple of torches, because although I have a gazillion and one jack-o'-lanterns around the edge here, I'm going to be taking those out. So I really do not need to have mobs wandering around and causing us headaches. Let's put another one over here. Sure. Why not? There's no point in ringing these things at the bottom right now. I mean, I could actually later on choose to put rings around some of the builds I've made, like this one when I'm done. That actually sounds like a whole lot of fun because of the way that it can give a little bit of light late at night to make the build look kind of cool. But that's one of those things that goes in the finesse and decorating stage, not in the it isn't even built yet stage. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize it only took 64 to get around there. Okay. So let's get back to wall number 3, because we are at half an hour remaining for your sanity and for mine. I do not want to go super, super long. But if we can get this one built today, then we can start putting together the insides of the farm. So that way we don't have to worry about bees that are going to sting us. If we actually have... I'm just looking for spaces so I don't have to bother putting out another chest. Yeah, if we actually have empty pieces of the farm to work with, or empty bees' nests to work with, then it makes it a lot easier to get the farm built and not be attacked. Why do I have... I'm gonna need this. Hmm. 30, okay. Where did I put? In between streams, I will go and clean up a lot of this mess and get rid of some of the extra pieces I don't need and get it all put away in the other building. Just makes it a little bit easier for everyone concerned. I'm not concerned, but a little bit easier to find things, I suppose. And for me, that's very, very helpful. Okay, that one. 7 and 30. Do I have anywhere else to put that? Let's grab an orange. Do we have orange? Not there. Terracotta. Orange. Yes. Okay, and we'll put those slabs up there. Close enough. We are back-ish. Do I have any brown? That's black. Brown. Brown. Okay, that'll get me started. So I'm just going to take a 3-second break here to do a picture swap, and then I will be right back. Let's see, where is... I want the left side, not the right side. Dream deck. There we go. Okay, yeah. Back we are to building. Pardon me. Excuse me just a second. I'm going to hydrate and I'll be right back. All right. So, let's see. We are on the other side. I don't need these. Usually at the top. Okay, let's go with this. Let's see, brown, gray, black. Okay. That should get us started. Okay. The other reason I needed this place cleared out was to be able to see things like I would see it when I'm taking my photo of the outside of the block. Because after I wasn't happy with the coloring of the tutorial I followed, I went and looked at the original block, and oh, I missed a spot up there. So after I wasn't happy with the coloring of the original block, then I went over, took pictures of the original block. That's what I'm trying to say, and decided on whether or not I wanted to keep it that way compared to the tutorial I'd been following. And frankly decided that, yeah, I don't even know why I bothered with the tutorial in the end, because it just looked different enough that I was going to remain unhappy. And I may still remain unhappy with this one, but at least I'm making enough decisions that I'm okay with, that we can progress and get this thing going. So that bottom one had to be brown. I do remember that because we used the gray and I didn't like it. But you know what? The more I look at this photo, the more I think the gray is just fine on that bottom row. And I'll use brown further up, because that will save us a little bit on blocks, but also, like in terms of stuff I have to bother dyeing. Gray. Didn't I have some? Did not. Huh. Light gray. Nope. Okay, well, brown it is then. Oh, that's why I had that. I was trying to figure out why I had brought, where did I put them? Bone meal. And now I remember, because bone meal with the ink sacs makes the gray. So this and like that. Okay. Gray terracotta. 16? Really? That's all I got? Fine. Fine, fine, fine. Oops, don't want that. Don't want that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now make some gray out of it. Gray terracotta. I thought I got me a little bit to work with. All right. Oh, bedtime. Eventually, I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do for a a player door to get through there. Okay. The other thing I need to do when I'm done this is when we do the top, I'm going to put carpets all along the edge, not for non-spawnability, but actually for, what's the word? The decorative edge, like the brown that's on the top of these things. But I'm thinking if I can get the right carpeting that I can get away with carpeting the whole top, then it means I won't have to put torches and whatnot on the roof. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's go with the light gray. Yeah, I still don't know what I did there. Okay, so light gray all the way along. I don't like the full light gray stripe. I have a couple other block spots that are supposed to be something else, but they don't work with this. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess I could say shame on Mojang for not giving us a tan color to work with, maybe? I don't know. I'm also most likely just being fussy. There we go. Okay, scaffolding, please. There and there. All right. 1, 2, and 3. White. Oops. 1, 2. And then I'm going to go with the orange just to help me mark it. Yeah, this is looking really odd because on the front side, it looked light in here, but on this side, it looks orange. And I really don't like it when Mojang does that because we can't do pixel art, right? So, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, why am I always changing the sides? But I'm not really. It's that because they are the people they are, when they create a block with pixels, they can do whatever texture they want on the surface. And it makes it more challenging for me to figure out exactly what I was doing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Oops. 2 and 3. There we go. And then more of the gray. 1, 2, and 3. And then we've got some orange in here. Oops, not that one. Orange, please. There we go. Okay. Now after this chunk, it's just orange across the top. Easy rows. I like it when I have easy rows. And then the next is just a brown easy row. Yeah, okay. So this side may be a fairly quick build. We'll see. I mean, now that I've said that, you know, I may have cursed myself into something more complex. But this left-hand side, when I say right-hand side and left-hand side, I mean from the point of view of standing, looking at the front of the beehive from the other side. So when you're looking at it, this would be your right and this would be your left. So what looks like the left side has a maybe not. I was gonna say it looks like it has a straight bands where the other one didn't, but no, it does. It has some straight strips in here. So never really thought about that. Right. Okay, where did I put? I don't need the light gray anymore. Oh. I thought I was being oh so smart. I didn't bring the right stuff. Come on, you. Let me down. But on the other hand, I mean, they don't want to hand every single decision to pixel artist on a platter. So there's something to be said for making, I guess you would say, making it your own because you're because of the decisions that a pixel copier would need to make, but also that another way of looking at it is that Mojang put the effort in to do it, so they want us to change it, not just outright steal it. Okay, where was I? Towards the end. I've been working in pictures. I've been working left to right for so long that's actually throwing me a little bit to be working right to left for a change. One, two, 3, 4. And then this one at the end. Hydration came through. Yay! And I have to figure out how to make it to pop up a little video. That's a new one. So yes, I have hydrated. Thank you for that. 1, 2, where am I here? Here we go. 3, 4. Oops, and what did I miss in the end? One more of those. Take this one out. Yay! Strangely enough, I shouldn't be that excited, but I'm that excited about a redeem because they mean that the channel points are working. But I'm going to have to try and figure out about a different activity feed because things, since I'm messing around with who's offering redeems and so forth, then they're not coming through the main activity feed that I expected. So yeah, there'll be some bumps and things, but I think in the end, because I tweak, I'll be able to get things more stable. And I'm noticing that I'm dropping a few frames here and there, so if it becomes notable for you guys as viewers, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just proceed as we have been. Okay, where's my picture? There we go. Back to game. Okay, where are we? 1, 2. And brown, just about complete brown row. We've got some concrete in this one. One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I had oopsied along. Oh, I know, I missed. Brown went too early. And concrete went too early. Let's try that. And then this one down to the end. Orange, orange. One, 2. I'm sure this is not exactly riveting content, but frankly, a lot of my builds aren't, and I'm okay with that. I'm sorry if you guys aren't. And I also apologize for being, well, self-deprecating, and I can't apologize for being Canadian, but I do point out that we have a horrible stereotype in Canada, as pointed out to me by someone not from Canada, but that our 1, 2, 1, 2. Somehow I got off again. But yes, that we have a stereotype in Canada that we are ultra polite. I don't know where that came from, who said it, but yeah. So we apologize for a lot of stuff. I don't necessarily think that's a good excuse for anything. On the other hand, it is what it is, and I tend to do a lot of that, which is weird because you would think that's not the case. I mean, people often say that Brits say it more than we do, but Brits will often use it in more of a sorry I couldn't hear you format, whereas Canadians, at least the ones in my experience, tend to default more to the American what when they want you to repeat yourself. And no, that was not a great accent, nor a great impression. It wasn't, but anyway, point is that Canadians tend to say what, like the Americans do, and whereas the UK will say sorry when they didn't quite hear you. But no, I'm just one of those Canadians who apologizes for anything and everything just because. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Where was I here? Okay, there we go. Can't seem to figure out where I'm at from point to... This does not bode well for tomorrow. Which, by the way, tomorrow will be more abduction. We're about to head into a puzzle known as the Maze, which has a reputation for being somewhat maddening. It can make the players a little disappointed with the way the game is created, but I mean, that's, in a sense, that's also part of the fun. Yes, that's warped, but true. But part of the fun in terms of, sorry, I can't try to count here. There we go. In terms of if the puzzles pose no challenge, then people wouldn't play the game. At least that's the theory that people are working on. So just a heads up on that one. I will admit I have an assist available, so I'm going to give the puzzle a try myself and see how far we can get with it on our own. But if it gets to the point where we're doing a lot of round and round and circle stuff that's getting to be excessive, then I have zero objection to using or to attempting to use a puzzle solver to assist with getting through this thing so that we're not stuck there forever. However, I have been warned that even with the puzzle solver, it's a bit of a long haul. So some people like abduction, some people don't. I don't bear any ill will if anyone decides that it's not their cup of tea. But that's what's up on deck for tomorrow, because whether people like it or not, I still need the break for myself to stay sane, I suppose, and want to come back to Minecraft. Yeah. I love it, but I still need breaks from it, just like everybody else does, for whatever game it is they play. I keep hoping that when I take a break, I'm going to come back and know how to fix the shoulder on that terracotta pajama thing. No such luck yet, I'm afraid. What did I... Oh, wrong piece. That would explain a lot. Pardon me. Sorry, that hydrate got me back a little bit. But I guess the more I get frustrated with something, the more I tend to assume that people are uninterested. So it could just be me. There is that distinct possibility. Could just be me. Okay, are we at these oranges? Nope, these are the other ones. So as you can see, we are just about done this side, which I think, based on our timings that we've got rolling so far, we're nearing the top of the hour. So that would probably be a good point at which we can say adieu. So I will finish this one off, and then we'll get a good shot, probably from over near the water, just to see where we are on the build, and then go on about other things. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count. 3. So Thursday, or Thursday, I will be back here. We will do the back wall on this one. Then the box is finished off, and we'll proceed right on into building the farm on the inside. I'm going to hold off on the roof until after the farm is built on the inside, just so that way I don't have to worry too much about the lighting in the interim and making sure that it comes down low enough to cause lack of spawning. It also makes things a lot easier to place blocks so I didn't run around and path block on the inside, although for the purposes of what this place is, it may actually end up being something I do. Or I may end up going and taking a picture of the bottom of the hive and see what's going on there. Haven't decided on that one yet. It's one of those down the road pieces. 1, 2, 1, 2. But then, so that's Thursday's plan for Minecraft. We will definitely be making some progress on our projects. And then, 2, over here. Oh, interesting. So I now understand, I had changed this corner out, and now I understand why the tutorial I had used had wool on this corner is because of, as I mentioned earlier, that texture challenge when it comes to figuring out which walls you're going to prioritize your texture on. So that you've got something that works on all sides. Okay. That one goes over there. Okay, so this will all be concrete through here. Or not concrete, yellow. Yeah, concrete through here. Okay. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so we'll get this sucker moving, I guess, a little bit more. Not that this isn't moving. We're actually making more progress on this one than I did on a lot of other builds, but we still have a ways to go. And then it needs to be functional and productive before we can do the final touches on the shoulders for the other piece. But if I can get most of that built, hopefully before next week, then we'll be able to just finish up with the honey blocks and the honeycomb thing. I may do a test run on samples on the ground or whatever to see what I like for a collar material. That's one of the decisions that I've been waffling on a little bit as to whether or not I would make it honey blocks like the front pip stripes on either side, or whether I would actually make it into the honeycomb for the collars. But that's predicated on getting the shoulders completed in the first place. And that's a hard part. Like the sleeve is short sleeve right now, but it's definitely going to come down to probably about halfway between where it's ending now and the waistline, and then poke outwards a little bit. This person's going to have monkey arms. That's fine. Monkey long arms. But at least we'll be making progress in that. And that elbow section is not something that needs a whole lot of thought to it. Okay, what do we have going here? Oh, that's not actually that bad. I mean, I've got the scaffolding inside still. I want the front of me, not the back. There we go. So this is where I'm going to bid you guys adieu, and hope everybody has a great day. We'll get some more progress done on the Beehive on Thursday. So I hope to see as many of you here who are available to drop in and say hi. And if not, I wish you all the best and good luck on any projects you guys may be working on, both in your gaming or in your non-gaming life. I hope the world treats you well and that you're not freezing yourselves off. But do remember, if you can get out and visit, a state or provincial park where you live, aside from the exercise, those parks could always use it, because these days when other things are going on, both at home and internationally, we find that governments don't always have the funding to help support these things. So if you can get out, go for it. I wish you the best and have yourselves a great week.